Please rise if you are able.
Thank you, friends. Would you be seated? Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Shelly Wilson.
And I'm Andy Bachmann.
And we are both ministers here at the United Church of Gainesville, and it is our honor to welcome you here.
We gather together today as a people from a variety of religious traditions and spiritual journeys. Each of us experiences the holy in different ways and by different names. And we honor those differences as we celebrate the love that lives within us and among us as a gift from God.
It is love, of course, that brings us here together this afternoon, especially the love that Helen and Flo have found with one another. This ceremony is a sacrament. It's an outward invisible sign of love and a covenant that has already been made between Flo and Helen in their hearts. It is a covenant, a commitment that they've cherished together for so many years. And it is also a communal celebration because you're all here together. Because it's not only the miracle of their two lives becoming one, but it is also this miracle that has been happening and continues to happen with us, the dearly beloved friends and family of Flo and Helen.
Marriages are nurtured, blessed, and sustained in community. And so with our love and with our prayers, we support them as we hold their marriage in the light and in the love of God. Would you please join me in prayer? Creator God, we give thanks for the gifts of love made real among us, the beauty of laughter, the tears of forgiveness, the warmth of touch and the depth of feeling that is shared in this special moment of sacred union. We rejoice that Helen and Flo have found in each other a companion for life's journeys, and that through each other, the path of life will always have meaning, even when it is at its steepest. Open our hearts to all the gifts that live in Helen and Flo today, their love, their hopes and dreams, and their faith in each other. And surround our lives as well to the brightness of your love, O God, a love that surrounds, upholds, and transforms us all. Amen.
Amen.
Helen and Flo, God has called you to enter into the sacred covenant of marriage. As you enter into the sacred covenant with one another, do you promise to love the other person very faithfully and to share with each other all of life's joys and sorrows, whatever your future may hold? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
And I ask all of you now, family and friends of Flo and Helen, your witnesses to these promises that they're making here today. So I ask you, will all of you do everything in your power to support and sustain Helen and Flo in their sacred union? If so, will you please answer now with a resounding, we do.
We do.
As a symbolic gesture of the joining not just of Helen and Flo, but of their families as well, we invite their families now to come forward to light the candles and to welcome one another while David and Angela offer this musical piece, The Water is Wide.
Water's wide, I can't cross it, and neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and we shall, my love and I. There is a ship, and she sails to sea. She's loaded deep can be, but not so deep as the love I knew. I know not how I sink or swim. Oh, love is handsome and love is fine, the sweetest flower when first it's new. And as you share these forever vows, love is the jewel, 'twill guide us true. The water is wide, I can't cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that will carry two, and we will, my love and I, and both shall move, my love and I.
This is from Felicity by Mary Oliver. The first day. After you left, I jumped up and down. I clapped my hands. I stared into space.
In those days, I was starving for happiness. So say it was both silly and serious. Say it was the first warm sting of possibility. Say I sensed the spreading warmth of joy.
I did think, let's go about this slowly. This is important. It should take some really deep thought. We should take small, thoughtful steps.
But bless us, we didn't. Everything that was broken has lost its brokenness. I live now in a sky house, through every window, the sun. Also your presence are touching our stories, earthy and holy both. How can this be? But it is. Every day has something in it whose name is forever.
A voice from I don't know where. It seems you love this world very much.
Yes, I said, this beautiful world. And you don't mind the mind that keeps you busy all the time with its dark and bright wonderings?
No, I'm quite used to it. Busy, busy, all the time. And you don't mind living with those questions? I mean the hard ones, but no one can answer.
Actually, they're the most interesting. And you have a person in your life whose hand you like to hold?
Yes, I do. It must surely then be very happy down there in your heart. Yes, I said it is.
It was not a setup. You both were adamant about this. Your friends did not intentionally bring you two together on that fateful weekend women's trip to the Rainbow River on Saturday, July 22nd, 2000. At 9:06 a.m., when you both boarded a rented pontoon boat and first set eyes on each other with your friends, who happened to be friends of your friends, you swore your friends were not intentionally matchmaking. But something happened. Maybe it was the binoculars around your neck, Flo, that brought Helen over to sit next to you on that pontoon cruise. Maybe it was the way that Helen seemed to know a little bit about everything. Every bird that you didn't know, she did. Every plant that you asked about, Helen had the answer. Flo, you loved testing Helen on her knowledge of the flora and fauna of north central Florida. And Helen, you loved that Flo was actually interested in your knowledge. Of the flora and fauna of north central Florida.
Right.
So much so that you two didn't stop talking to each other the whole trip. Something was happening here, but you were not set up. At least, not intentionally, by your friends. But to see you two together and to hear your story, it's hard not to see the connection that must have been so electric then and is so beautiful now. To hear you two tell it, you may as well have been teenagers falling in love. There was indeed a spark that first time out, and over the course of the weekend, you two couldn't stay away from each other. Flo had to leave a little earlier than most because she wanted to keep her commitment to serve supper at the St. Francis house here in Gainesville. But before you departed, you snuck up behind Helen as she was doing the dishes, and you gave her a hug. And Helen, you said you just melted.
Yeah.
You exchanged information and you vowed to keep in touch. And keep in touch you did. I believe it was well within the first 24 hours that Helen reached out to you, Flo. And you two started talking on the phone a lot. And when that wasn't enough, you would set up instant messenger dates during the daytime when it probably wouldn't have been appropriate to talk, since you were doing this during work hours. Flo, you said that you would sometimes read an email from Helen and you would have to step outside to catch your breath. You had never fallen in love like this before, and it was so exciting that it practically made you hyperventilate. Soon Helen came up to Gainesville for a visit, and it was both exciting and a little overwhelming. Things were happening fast, and not in a bad way. Fast in a beautiful way, a way that felt like you two were simply supposed to be together, that this life that you two were dreaming on couldn't possibly be put on hold any longer. Helen, because you came to UF for your undergrad, you were well versed in how awesome Gainesville is. So it wasn't long before you were considering the big move up from St. Pete. And once you got to know Devin and Celine, Flo's daughters, you knew this was the place you wanted to be. You two rented a home together that you eventually purchased, and your lives wove together to create a beautiful tapestry, the one that you have today. I do believe that you two are and always have been meant to be together. What I love about you two is that your personalities are very different. Flo, you have a true servant's heart, as seen through all your work with the Gainesville Homeless Ministries and the ways that you strive for racial and economic justice, while your work life has you putting your brilliant mind to work archiving some of the most important works here at the University of Florida and beyond. While Helen, you're always zipping around town. Whether it's for a new house showing or getting to the next meeting of the City Commission, you love to lead, and you are called to put yourself out there for others in the hopes of making a stronger city for us all. Both of you together are a force to be reckoned with in the world of justice and of service. Yet you are also two of the most down-to-earth, kind-hearted people that I know. And you are so well suited for each other. Not only is it clear that you inspire each other, but often you finish each other's sentences. And believe it or not, that is a gift. Together you two have weathered much. Through good times, you shine. And in difficult ones, you two are not only a source of strength for each other, but you are for all of your family and your friends as well. You have modeled for us what a great relationship truly looks like. Yours is one that is based in love and kindness, trust and compassion, admiration, appreciation, and above all, friendship. And that makes a big difference. Helen, you are a lucky woman to have Flo. In Flo, you have a spouse who always makes you laugh and always will. You love the deep generosity that guides Flo's life and relationships. It inspires you, and it makes you appreciate her even more. You have said that Flo is the perfect mom, and that you consider yourself deeply blessed to have been so warmly and completely wrapped up into the family. You love it when Flo gets a little silly and sweet, when she sings to you, or points out a favorite bird, or a beautiful flower, or simply holds your hand. In Flo, you have found a perfect companion. And Flo, Helen never ceases to amaze you with her tireless passion to make the world a better place and to get out there in it to appreciate all the beauty that it offers. You can't believe the depth of Helen's heartfelt compassion for our world and the people in it. Her energy never stops. She is always on the go, filled with enthusiasm for life and for service, and that inspires you. You love how Helen empowers and affirms the good gifts of others around her. She leads by listening. And though she is never afraid to offer her thoughts on any given subject, she is also capable of honoring the thoughts and the wishes of others. You two are so well matched that you not only appreciate each other's gifts and graces, you continue to marvel at one another. You inspire each other just as much today as you did 17 years ago when, on July 22nd, at 9:06 in the morning, your worlds took a turn for the beautiful. Be the blessing to each other. that you already always have been. Continue to love each other well and draw strength from the twofold power of love that you have built around your life. And know that your shared love that you participate in is also the overwhelming love of God. And with that, the sacred will always remain. God bless you.
Thank
For the
you.
covenantal commitment that you made today.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
You're about to. Okay. First chorus.
Now the parking lot is empty, everyone's gone someplace. I pick you up and in the trunk I've packed a cooler and a 2-day suitcase. 'Cause there's a place we like to drive way out in the country. 5 miles out of the city limit, you're singing and your hands upon my knee. So we're okay, we're fine. Baby, I'm here to stop your crying. Chase all the ghosts from your head. I'm stronger than the monster beneath your bed. Harder than the tricks played on your heart. We'll look at them together, then we'll take them apart. Adding up the total of a love that's true. Multiply life by the power of 2. You know the things that I am afraid of, I'm not afraid to tell. And if we ever leave a legacy, it's that we loved each other well. I've seen the shadows of so many people trying on the treasures of youth, but a road that's fancy and fast ends in a fatal crash. And I'm glad we got off, to tell you the truth. 'Cause we're okay, we're fine. Baby, I'm here to stop your crying. Chase all the ghosts from your head. I'm stronger than the monster beneath your bed. Smarter than the tricks played on your heart. We'll look at them together, then we'll take them apart. Adding up the total of a love that's true. Multiply life by the power of 2. All the shiny little trinkets of temptation, something new instead of something old. All you gotta do is scratch beneath the surface and it's fool's gold. What is gold? What is gold? Now we're talking about a difficult thing and your eyes are getting wet. Well, I take us for granted and I take us for worse. And don't you ever forget it. Now the steel bars between me and a promise suddenly bend with ease. The closer I'm bound in love to you, the closer I am to free. 'Cause we're okay, we're fine. Baby, I'm here to stop your crying. Chase all the ghosts from your head. I'm stronger than the monster beneath your bed. Smarter than the tricks played on your heart. We'll look at them together, then we'll take them apart. Adding up the total of a love that's true. Multiply life by the power of 2.
invited to share your vows with each other now. Helen,
On this day, I give you my heart, my trust, my love. I will share your joy and sorrow and walk with you wherever our journey leads us. Living, learning, loving together. I promise to encourage your compassion for others and your love of nature, for that is why I first fell in love with you. I promise to nurture your dreams and work with you side by side, today, tomorrow, and for years to come. I promise to help shoulder our burdens and our challenges. I promise to live in truth with you and to communicate fully and without fear, and to share in the silence when words are not needed. On this day, I join my life with yours, with joy, with pride, and with love.
Flo, on this day, I give you my heart, my trust, my love. I will share your joy and sorrow and walk with you wherever our journey leads us, living, learning, loving together. I promise to encourage your playfulness and support your passion for justice and for your work, and to share your love of family. I promise to nurture your dreams and work with you side by side, today, tomorrow, and for the years to come. I promise to help shoulder our burdens and our challenges. I promise to live in truth with you and to communicate fully and without fear, and to share in the silence when words are not needed. On this day, I join my life with yours, with joy and pride and love.
may I have the rings, please? Friends, the wedding ring is a symbol of the marriage covenant. Rings are made of precious metals. They're symbolic of the hope that the love that Flo and Helen have for each other will never tarnish or fade. Rings are made in a circle, symbolic of the belief that the love that you share has no beginning and no end. And so I invite you now to share these rings with one another. Flo, would you please place Helen's ring on her finger? And would you repeat after me? Helen, I give you this ring.
Helen, I give you this ring.
As a sign and symbol.
As a sign and symbol.
Of my love and faithfulness.
Of my love and faithfulness.
And as a sign of my care.
And as a sign of my care.
And my concern without end.
And my concern without end.
Amen.
Amen.
And now, Helen, will you please place this ring on Flo's finger? Flo, I give you this ring.
Flo, I give you this ring.
As a sign and symbol.
As a sign and symbol.
Of my love and faithfulness.
Of my love and faithfulness.
And as a sign of my care.
And as a sign of my care.
And of my concern without end.
And of my concern without end.
Amen.
Amen.
And now, friends, this is a time when I will invite all of us to share our very best wishes and our blessings with Flo and Helen now as they begin their new life together. And so, beginning with their families, I invite all of you to come forward to place your hands on Helen and Flo or on the shoulders of the persons standing directly in front of you. So I invite you, as you are able, all of you, please to come forward to share in this blessing. Thank you, friends. And now I invite you to spend a moment in silence, to focus in your hearts and minds on the wishes that you have for Helen and Flo, and envision them surrounded by all of our love and good wishes. And let these wishes be the beginning of our prayers for them.
Oh God, we pray that Helen and Flo may feel the warmth of your love, blending with our good wishes, to surround them and enfold them in a prayerful embrace.
Bless Helen and Flo and their lives together, so that they may always feel this great chain of support and love from their friends and family. Give them the grace to live the promises that they have made this day.
Teach them the blessing of undeserved forgiveness, and bring them to an old age, rejoicing more fully in love's winter than in its springtime. Amen.
Amen.
If you would please return to your seats, and as you do, we will sing the servant song, which words are printed in your bulletin. Please rise if you are able and receive this benediction. And now you will feel no rain, for each of you will be shelter for the other.
Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warmth to the other.
Now you are two persons, but there is only one life before you. Go now, purposefully and proudly, into the days of your life together, and may your days be good and long upon the earth.
Flo and Helen, in as much as you have declared your vows before God and this gathered congregation, in the presence of your family and your friends, I now pronounce that you are joined in marriage, and you may seal your vows with a kiss.
And now,
fantastic.
friends, you are invited
Let's
to
do
go
it
across
again.
the courtyard
Thanks,
to
Rita.
Reimer Hall, where
Oh.
there are drinks and appetizers waiting for you. Family, if you would, please stick around for a few photos. But we will see the rest of you over there in just a minute, right after Shelly and I swoop out.